If you've ever had a hard time learning a language and being able to express yourself, then this video is for you, my friends. The goal of most language learners is to be able to communicate. It is to speak. It's to understand and to be understood, which is the ethos of our company. Seek to understand and seek to be understood. If you're having any issues ever trying to speak, it comes from a whole host of things, from anxiety to wanting to be perfect, imposter syndrome. All these things are going to get in your way. But at the end of the day, what you're trying to do with language is exactly what language was created for. You are trying to communicate an idea and you are trying to receive information. That's it. If you rest with that, that will help you. Of course, that's not enough generally, and so we have to break this down by hitting up some tactics. The key is knowing that you want to express yourself. And so let's look at that more concretely. If you read or listen to or watch something and you're still at the beginner or intermediate phase, you may have been able to assimilate the words so that you understand what's being said, but you won't be able to communicate that. You don't want that to stop you from still being able to speak. One of the key exercises that we do for our students in their first 30 days is get them to understand how to communicate when they don't have the same level of vocab that a native speaker or an advanced speaker would have. You do this through a whole host of things, from knowing that you have to repeat, knowing that you have to display or express things in a caveman-like way because you just don't have it, all right? And so training that is going to actually train the part of your brain that seeks to figure out ways to explain things. If I stopped you and I said, you can't speak right now, now I need you to tell me that you want a glass of water. You start doing all sorts of things, right? Your brain immediately knows how to solve that problem. What you're doing when you're trying to speak a new language is you're trying to speak it the same way you speak your native tongue when you're not quite there, and you may never get there, which is perfectly fine. You can still have an incredibly high level in another language and be able to express what it is that you're trying to get across, all right? The upper levels of a language, even in your own native tongue, you don't have. You don't have all those words. We don't sit around and study Shakespeare all the time to know the most eloquent way to say that you want to go ask this girl out. It's just not, we don't have it, okay? And so you shouldn't be seeking to do that in the other tongue. You have to train your ability to find other ways to communicate. If you forget the word for airplane, you're going to say the thing that flies, the thing that goes, you know? You have to know that you can still communicate those and you be okay with it. When they say airplane to you, go, oh shit, airplane. Thanks. Boom, you've got it. All right? But you still have to rest in that because so many people have gained so much vocab, they have it all sitting there. It's not being activated because you cannot connect the dots. You can't connect the dots because you want every single dot along the road to be absolutely perfect. That's not what we need. One of the other keys that's preventing a whole host of our students at times is pronunciation. Your ability to pronounce these words. Now, depending on the language that you're trying to learn, it's going to be close to your native tongue, you know, or not. Regardless, you want to be able to pronounce these things and make sure that you are being understood. You're not trying to sound exactly like them. Let the years go by. Let the supercomputer that is your brain take care of that. You need to start practicing your pronunciation. And that doesn't mean that's going to be a giant chunk of your learning, because the biggest part of learning a language is being able to assimilate, acquire, and get those words in and get that understanding in. So this is a small portion, but if you're having trouble speaking, what you need to do is find something that you can repeat really easily. A podcast, take a clip. You know, there's some great, like LingoPie, I'm a big fan of LingoPie. We've worked with them before. Pimsleur, I'm a fan of these. These are not apps in my world. I mean, LingoPie is just adapting. You're watching something and it's got a bunch of tools for you available. Migaku, we've also worked with those of you guys that are learning Asian languages. Check them out. Even if you're not, these are the type of resources that plug into your daily life. These are the type of things that will actually work, right? It has to start encroaching on your world. I've talked about this in another video. If it's not out yet, go check out the video on transformation. You can really understand what it is that you may be lacking and what's the missing piece in you actually being able to speak. So with the pronunciation, what we have to do is watch this small clip, and I'm talking small. I mean, let's imagine you are a guy in the middle of Kansas, near nothing. You have never seen Spanish. And you see this, it says, and you go, hola, ¿qué tal? You go, hola, ¿qué tal? right? Now, if you said that to a Spanish speaker, they're gonna, I don't know what he's talking about, right? So you hear that person say, hola, ¿qué tal? That's in the show, right? Well, great. So he plays it, hola, ¿qué tal? You say, oh, okay. It's not hola, ¿qué tal? It's hola, ¿qué tal, right? And you start saying it and you say it over 5, 10 times, all right? That's it. Once you've gone through that one phrase 5 to 10 times and said it and said it and said it, move on to the next phrase. Now, the thing is that you need to understand what you're saying because there's no point in you necessarily repeating and pronouncing words that you don't have any idea what they are. So try to take phrases rather than just words. This is just for me because I think it gives you more for your money, all right? So instead of just having to repeat jabuka, right? In Croatian, just saying jabuka, 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 you know? You can say ja jedem jabuku, right? You can practice the phrase, I am eating the apple, right? And that gives you an opportunity to say those words correctly. You have to chunk things down and you have to slow down. We're gonna make an entire video about this, which I think we have done on the other channel, but it has to be said. Everything in our world wants to go 1,000,000 miles an hour, and that is not how you build deep roots in language learning. So speaking of modern society and where we're at right now, AI is everywhere. It's everything. There are claims, of course, that AI can teach you this language, that you don't even need to learn another language because AI is there. All of this stuff, whatever. All right, whatever. You just want to make sure that you use these as tools. If you're watching this video, you are still interested in learning this language and you know the power that this is going to give you in your cognition and your ability to navigate the world when you have assimilated the language. All right, so first things first, if you are a beginner, stay away from the AI tutors. Do not start talking to ChatGPT if you are a beginner, especially absolute beginners. Do not pick up your entire intonation and everything from an AI robot tutor. The reason I don't want you as a beginner or a lower intermediate speaking to AI is because there's a whole host of things that you are picking up on that you are not aware of. Because if I kill the audio right now, I don't need to tell you what context you picked up from all that. All of those expressions, all those things, those are done from my culture to you. You're not going to pick that stuff up. And like I said at the beginning, in order to learn a language, you need to know that you are trying to convey information and receive information. And that stuff that you pick up right there, those little subtle things that are underneath, when you get to the upper levels of a language, you'll start to notice you've assimilated that culture's ways of expressing as well. And you're not going to get that with AI. All right. And so 100% definitely going to make more videos on AI and what the use is. But just as a note, if you are below or anywhere near the lower intermediate, I am not a fan of you using AI to do that. The speaking part. Now, I am a big fan of you utilizing them in order to customize your words and get stories and, you know, even listen to stuff like this. But the conversational aspect of it needs to be done with a human still. It needs to be done with your tutor. We've talked a lot about tutors as well, all right? And so you want to be using them as a test. They are a feedback system. They are not there. Do not pay a tutor and then sit there and have them tell the things that you could just be watching on this YouTube video in general, all right? It doesn't make sense, right? Use them as a marker. Create that feedback loop, and that'll make things way better for you. I debated whether or not to put this at the beginning because there is going to be a whole host of people out there that are just ready to just say, screw it. I'm just going right in. I don't care. I'll speak. I'll do this. I'll make those mistakes. I'm fine. I don't care if people make fun of me. I'm one of those people. I realize not everybody is that. I have videos out there where I've made different mistakes in different languages. People crush you. I don't know what they get out of it, but they're going to do it. Yes, it's true. People are going to make fun of you for all this stuff. It comes with the territory. But guess what? Every time you make that mistake, you get better, you correct it, you move on, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. It's not something that you want to dwell on. But if you have the ability to do this, to tackle, to get out there and truly push yourself, say, I'm just going to go have this conversation. Lower the stakes. You don't have to publish a YouTube video where people can talk shit on you. You can go to past the gas station clerk, speak Spanish. You're never going to see them again. Throw out the Spanish, right? Try and do that. See if they're a nice person and all this, they're going, oh, that's good. That's good. They're going to talk to you, right? But start to put yourself in those environments, all right? So I know some of you guys are not going to do that, and these are the stuff that we've put out in the video are ways that you can start to chip away at that. But if you have any any inkling that you can put yourself in an environment like that, where it's a sink or swim, if you really want to do it, and you want to do it fast, because I know everybody is obsessed with that, that is how you do it. Put yourself in sink or swim situations, and you'll be better. Like, comment, subscribe, check out everything from us down below. Peace out.